All right, we're actually on time today, guys.
Oh my God.
There's a podcast called Between Two Slabs. They consume mass media. It seems so sad. It's the great curator and Merlin. They can't grow pubes, so they gotta wear a merkin. They got no money, so I guess they gotta share. Just two nerds wishing they could grow body hair. Comics, cards, and toys, nothing that would interest you. It's the podcast that nobody listens to.
There he goes again. Rise and shine, everyone. It's Curator Army time. And look at us. We both have our shirts on today. Look at that. I didn't even tell you, Dan. You didn't tell me to put it on, but I did it anyway. Oh, like a 22 slabs. Oh, boy. We're going to get all kinds of trolls now. We had them on last week, but we put them on again. This time they're fresh. Last week, they weren't so fresh. Is yours fresh now? Do we still have any left?
Yes. Hold on,
we do.
Here. What? Okay, go ahead. Let me just adjust my light here. So
it's been a while since you've been back in the Curator studio.
Yeah, I gotta adjust things here.
Okay. You moved it around too. You're on the one sheets this time.
Yeah, I'm trying to have more of a better background because usually it's facing the long way of my room where you can see my closet in the back and it just looks cluttered. So I'm trying to have,
it looks nice.
I'm trying to have more of a professional background. I'm actually thinking about moving my table here to be directly across from my uncut sheet wall. So I think that will look really cool.
Okay.
I just gotta rearrange furniture.
My place is a mess right now. I just haven't had time, and I said screw it. So I'm still unpacking, and everything's everywhere right now. Trying to reorganize.
Do you just keep that little rack up all the time in your bedroom?
No. I put it up. I only put it up for the show, man.
Oh, right. Sure, I'm sure. Okay.
Yes, because otherwise I won't be able to make it to the bathroom.
Oh, there's the bathroom behind there? I can't even tell.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I do it. See, it works.
I see. Interesting. Okay.
Do you want me to go use the restroom right now and flush the toilet to prove to you that the bathroom is back there?
That's okay. That's okay. I'll take your word.
It's like a Naked Gun episode.
Okay. All right. So it seems like we were on a whirlwind journey. It was only 12 days, I think, 11 days, 12 days, something like that. But
it felt like 6 months.
Yeah, it seemed like we were on the road for months, man. It was crazy. Going to Dallas, then going to Austin, then going to Atlanta, just being on the road, long road trips. Changing hotels every couple of days, not eating really a home cooked meal, just eating out everywhere we go. It's pretty wild. I don't think
some good food though.
Yes, we did. We got some highlights. So we will definitely be talking about the highlights of our trip tonight, guys. We will be reviewing Culture Collision. We reviewed Dallas last week, so we don't really need to talk about that. So we'll talk about Culture Collision tonight. And then we'll get to you guys' comments and everything at the end of the show. I think we got a little bit news. We might talk about Metazoo just a little bit, because I do have some thoughts on that.
Yes, and I have a lot of questions too about it.
Yeah, real quick, we'll talk about that, and then I think we should be talking about Geoff Wilson's Cards HQ or our thoughts on that, real quick. So, but before we get into that, guys, we don't really have any sponsors to plug. So I'm going to be plugging
ourselves.
Our limited. I'm not even going to go there, Merlin. But we're going
no.
Talking about our t-shirts, guys. We do have some t-shirts left. I think I only have 4 left. 4 t-shirts. They're all size large. This is I'm making the artificial scarcity pitch here for you guys. These ones are our prototype designs, okay?
Yes. Collector's items, guys.
The next print run that we do will be slightly different. It's still going to be these two, devilishly handsome cartoon characters, versions of us, but it will be slightly different where basically either Merlin's going to have whiter skin or I'm going to have more yellow skin. One of those two things.
I'm usually darker.
Merlin's definitely going to have some gray hair on the sides.
Yeah, you're getting there too, dude.
The slabs will be gold. Merlin's probably gonna have some wrinkles.
Enough, okay, man. Okay, I get it.
We're gonna differentiate itself. Okay, my arms are probably gonna be bigger.
Jesus!
It will be different.
What a fantasy this guy's living in.
It will be slightly different, guys. So this is the prototype limited edition
goodness.
Shirt. You know what? I got a funny request today.
What is it?
Somebody wants to buy this shirt, but they want us to sign it. Interesting, huh? They want us to sign it for them and send it to them. So
it has to be like in silver or white ink or something that can stay on there.
So if I see
who is it? Golden Auctions or Heritage Auctions?
If I see you next week, we'll have to sign it and we'll send it off to them. So we only have a few shirts left, guys. We only have large right now. They are $30 each plus shipping. So just DM me on Instagram and you will be able to get one of these shirts before they sell out. And then the next print run that we do, the design will be a little bit different.
And a little bit larger, hopefully.
And then you will be able to get your size, whether it's medium, but let's be honest, nobody's wearing a medium here.
No.
Extra large, double XL, whatever you guys need.
Triple XL.
We will get the order on the next print run after we sell out of these. So if you guys want to support us, please pick up one of these T-shirts. We would definitely enjoy that. And then anything else you want to plug, Merlin?
No, I mean, that's basically it. So if you're a sponsor out there watching us or listening to us on our podcast, because we are on podcast, so every podcast you can think of, who is it? Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Spotify, all those platforms. Listen to us every day in your car or wherever you're doing, while you're jogging, while you're working out. We are on podcast, but we're also live on streaming onto YouTube every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time.
Yes, and if you guys can, this is where I make my request out of all the people here supporting us, all the 27 people currently in the chat. Please write us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, Apple Podcasts too. Thank you.
That will help us get our ratings up, so that we go up higher in the hobby charts, and that helps build the brand. So please just take like 30 seconds to write a 5-star review. Very important, okay? So to the jerk that wrote us a 4-star review, whoever that was, okay, I'm coming after you. I will find you.
4-star?
5 stars only, guys, okay? 5 stars only.
We had a 4-star review?
That will help us out a lot, and that will help grow the Curator and Between Two Slabs Army and Merlin Maniacs.
That's right.
And we'll all be happy for that. So thank you for that.
Woo!
Okay, let's get into the news. We got to talk about a little hobby news first before we get into the review of Culture Collision and everything else. Let's talk about a couple hobby news. I did see somebody mention the autograph curator. Okay, there can only be. Let me tell you guys. Okay, there can only be one curator in the hobby. All right, so you guys stop putting curator on the end of your name. There's this other guy who calls himself the Uncommon Curator. I see him at the show.
Wow, these are like the Merleworld countries.
I know, right? Okay, there can only be one. Anyways,
is it the same person you think?
No, I don't know. Dude,
okay,
just joking. But he brought up the Vince McMahon situation, so we'll talk about that. But first,
oh my gosh, yeah, we have so much to talk about. I don't know where to begin, Dan. What we're going to begin with?
Real quick. Let's get into the Metazoo. Let's just. No, I don't want to get into a minute. Let's just. What? Well, yeah, we'll do it. Let's just do it because I don't have.
Yeah, I want to know what the hell happened. I've been really busy since I got back, and then all of a sudden to see posts saying Metazoo's gone, and I thought it was a strong company that was sponsored by Steve Aoki, and I thought like, didn't Topps have Metazoo or Fanatics? Correct. What happened? What happened, man?
So you are correct when you say that Metazoo was being, I guess, produced by Topps, right? Mm-hmm. They had the Topps brand on there. Metazoo was not sponsored by Aoki. He was actually part owner of Metazoo. And then they were, in retail locations like Target and stuff. So they you would think that they were on the path to being, a success for a TCG. Okay. I don't know too much about Metazoo. I opened a couple boxes for fun. I didn't really collect it. I didn't really buy it or anything like that. So I don't know too much about it. So I can't speak on the mechanics of the game or the popularity or anything like that. I really don't know anything about that. But here's what I do know.
Okay.
I know a little bit about how their business structure worked and the things that they needed to do to get certain people involved with them, all the big names, Aoki, Topps, things like that. So I know a little bit of that stuff, okay? And I can't really disclose too much of it because I don't want to cause any hobby beefs. So I'm not going to point fingers and blame, anybody for what happened to them or their demise. But here's what I think, okay? Because you know me, I'm always trying to look at different perspectives. While everybody else is doing a reaction video and talking about the same things and just regurgitating certain things, I like to come at it from a different perspective.
Okay.
So here's my perspective. We look at what Metazoo was. They had about a 4-year run, I believe, right? A 4-year run.
Okay.
We look at them. They started out as a Kickstarter. Then they scaled up. They had tremendous success, scaled up, took on a celebrity partner, partnered with top manufacturer in the business, went to retail. It looked like they were on the path to be like the next Pokemon, essentially, right?
Right.
But somewhere along the lines, they, I guess it didn't work out, and that they had to kind of shut down operations. When usually you write a letter like that saying that you're shutting down operations, that's usually a precursor to bankruptcy, right? And when I think in the letter they mentioned they were hoping to get acquired and sell the IP, the intellectual property, to somebody who can take the brand and rebuild it or something like that, rebrand it, however. Anyways, so everything looked good until it wasn't good anymore. Okay, and here's the lesson that I'm taking away from all this, right?
Okay.
In the last 3 years, 4 years, going on 4 years now in the hobby, from 2020 to now, right? How many startups did we see pop up in the hobby? Whether it was an auction house, a big auction house like Alt, for example, grading companies. There's too many to name. Card manufacturers, independent card artists, service businesses, prepping businesses like Mr. Minty, supply businesses, Zion cases, stand-up displays, right? How many businesses popped up during this time, right? A lot of businesses.
So it was
right?
like the gold rush, but for cards.
Which is great because there was a lot of money in the hobby, and a lot of people took advantage of that by creating, services and products and things like that to kind of piggyback on the shoulders of the hobby, right? Based off of the big manufacturers, Topps, Panini, and things like that, right? Which is great. Great. We love to see entrepreneurial ventures in the hobby. But here's the problem with that. If you scale up too quickly in any business, in any market, if you start off as a startup, okay, imagine this was like a tech business, all right? If you are a startup and you scale up too quickly, then you are not prepared. If you don't have the right infrastructure or system in place, you will have a hard time keeping up with demand. Okay, you won't be able to scale up properly, and you will fold under the pressure. And this happens a lot. And I'll use a technology example here in the tech industry. So, did you ever hear of a company called WeWork?
Oh yes, I had worked at one before.
Okay, so WeWork, if you guys don't know, is basically they had shared co-working spaces, and their business model was to rent out office space, make it super cool for people to hang out. There'd be like free coffee, beer, ping pong tables, Wi-Fi, all this stuff, and people could go there and basically just rent office space on a need basis, So it's not like a traditional lease. You would just go there, pay a subscription service or whatever, right? And they started out, and the idea was so revolutionary that they got a ton of money pumped into them real quick, and they took that money and they scaled up unbelievably high to billion-dollar valuation, right? Multi-billion-dollar valuation. The problem is that they scaled up too quickly. They acquired too many expensive leases. The pandemic happened, which really screwed them over.
That's right. Yes.
Right. And other things, other bad management decisions that led the company essentially to delay their IPO, which is like their big cash out day,
Mm-hmm.
fire the founder and CEO,
Hmm.
and then now I do believe they are declaring bankruptcy. I think something like that. That's the last time I heard from them, right? But the moral of the story is they scaled up really quick. They had a great idea, but they scaled up really quick. They were mismanaged, and then they're eventually going out of business. And the same thing happens in the hobby. All right. I'll give you another example. PWCC. PWCC was this like little auction house on eBay. Pandemic boom happens. They scale up. They start building out their own auction house. At first, they get kicked off of eBay, but that's okay. They build up their own auction house. Then they have the bright idea to start giving out card loans, at payday advances, basically on their cards, and then they get over leveraged, and then they eventually have to, sell the company to Fanatics because they were mismanaged. And then we could go on and on about other things, grading companies, card manufacturers, supply companies, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what happened here. This is my biggest takeaway. I think that's what happened with MetaZoo. I think MetaZoo had a great idea. They filled the spot that was needed in the hobby for a TCG like that. And then they took on a partner. They took on multiple partners. They probably went into retail. And when you go into retail, maybe people don't understand this, but retail, you don't get paid until your stuff sells. So it's basically like consignment, right? So if you go into retail and you commit to giving product there, you're not getting that money back unless it sells, right? And maybe they weren't ready for retail. Not a lot of people actually buy that kind of stuff on retail, I would say. So they had a lot of mistakes in terms of their business plan and how they were managed and everything like that. And I think that's what led to their demise. So for me, the biggest takeaway from the MetaZoo story is that even if you have a great idea, great product, and everything looks good, if you don't have, if you don't execute, if you don't have a good business plan and execute on that business plan, even you can fail. Even MetaZoo can fail, right?
That's crazy.
So that's my biggest takeaway. Anything you want to add to that?
I mean, yeah. I saw people with like MetaZoo autographed Aoki cards this week. Even Jeff Wilson's cards, HQ had a few slabs in his display cases of those Aoki signed MetaZoo cards. And that's why it kind of just blew my mind, because I thought it was because of all that, it was doing well. And there were still collectors out there. But like you said, maybe they got too big too fast, or thought they would get big too fast, and instead of just keeping a nice little pace going. And when you think big too soon, then it's a bigger fall.
Right. I think that they will have a cult following for years to come. I think people will kind of collect their cards for fun that like that type of animation style. I never really liked it, to be honest.
So there are times when a card collection like that kind of folds early can end up being a cult hit somewhere down the road and still be collectible and worth something and a good investment.
I think so, because even like in the toy industry, there's like cult toy lines that come out and they go out of business right away, or they get discontinued after the first series, but people still love them. I'll give you a couple examples. I showed you one in Austin, Barnyard Commandos.
Oh, that's right.
Barnyard Commandos is, if you guys don't know what that is, go look that up. That's an awesome toy line, So Visionaries, if you guys don't know what that is, that's a really awesome toy line also.
Visionaries?
Yes, here's my favorite one, okay? That you guys don't even understand how big this one is. Battle Beast.
Oh, Battle Beast. Yes, I remember those.
Yeah, so that happens all the time in toy lines where they get canceled after like one series and then they become cult favorites. So I think that will happen with MetaZoo. I don't think that they're going to be acquired by anybody because their IP is not that valuable to me. To me, it's not that valuable because it just seems like you could just make up those characters and, it's not like there's not much lore behind it. You know what I mean?
Whether they are like monsters of lore, they're kind of like legendary monsters from like different regions. Isn't that what that was based on? Like a Bigfoot and a Sasquatch. I meant Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, but there'll be others. There'll be other card companies and manufacturers. I've been teasing that I might be partnering with some people and releasing something in the near future. So who knows?
It's not Metazoo, is it?
I might be the next company that goes out of business. We'll see. But anyways, so let's move on from that real quick. Let's talk about the Royal Rumble. All right. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I was going to text you the other night, but I was too scared that you hadn't seen it yet. Did you? First of all, did you see it all? You did as soon as you got home Sunday night.
Yeah, I was up until 2 a.m. But I watched it.
What time did you get home?
Like at 10:30.
Oh my gosh, you must have watched it right off the bat because it took me till 3 a.m. to watch it. Or did you fast forward through stuff?
I fast forward a little bit, here and there. But
I watched the whole bloody thing. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Did you?
Yeah, I like the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view.
I heard.
Sure, but I was not. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was entertained by it for sure, but I don't think that it was the best Royal Rumble. I think that there was like some. There could have been some better moments for sure. And I'll give you an example. Like, what I really love about the Royal Rumble are the surprises. I want to see people that I haven't seen before. Either NXT call-ups, which we got that. It was really cool to see.
NXT call-ups, right? Yeah. We had Braun Breaker
came up, and that's the first time I've really seen him in action. And I was actually like, this guy's badass. I love that.
And reason he got brought up at the last minute, right?
Yes, we'll talk about that later. Okay. But Tiffany Stratton, my girl Tiffany
Stratton.
Yeah,
I know. I was thinking about you when I saw her.
She got in there, so I love to see that.
And then some of the TNA people.
Veterans. I want to see veterans because this is the opportunity for a veteran to come out, wrestle for a few minutes, get a big pop, and then that's it. They get kicked out, right? But we didn't really see any legends or legends or what's it called, like veterans or anything like that. So that was a little bit disappointing. I think some of the I don't know. On the women's side, I was like, some of the gimmicks that they were using, I thought was kind of stupid. For instance, overall, like I feel like when the women come out, they always have some crazy gimmicks. There was Xia Li comes out holding some swords, swinging some swords around. There's one girl, I forget what her name is. She's from the UK, NXT UK. She comes out like a witch, like a shaman. Witch.
Oh, that's the half that tag team.
Yeah. There's that one girl, the Valkyrie, comes out with horns, and then she gets knocked out by R-Truth.
R-Truth comes out thinking that's his number, but that was the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was funny, but that was stupid that she was coming out. So I just thought some of the gimmicks that they were using were pretty stupid. Maxine Dupree, she
does the worm.
Yeah, her gimmick is dumb. She's super hot though, but
she is.
She botched the twisting, whatever it's called, Hurricanrana or whatever.
Yep. Yes, she did. Big time.
So I didn't like that. I didn't like seeing champions in the Royal Rumble, like Gunther coming out. He's already the Intercontinental Champion. He should not have to be in the Rumble. You know what I mean?
He should have had his own match.
Yeah, I've always thought the Intercontinental Championship should be the gatekeeper for the WWE title, right?
Gotcha.
You gotta beat the Intercontinental Champion to get to the next stage to go on to the Heavyweight Championship, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you're the IC champion, if you defend it 10 times successfully, then you get a title shot at the main belt, right? I've always thought that, but so I don't like to see champions in there representing or trying to get a ticket to the WrestleMania match. So I didn't like that. I did like to see Bayley win. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I was definitely not expecting her to win. I thought Jade Cargill, I told you she was going to make her.
I know you thought that, but remember I said it was probably going to be Bayley or someone from Damage Control.
Yeah. So that was interesting. How that played out. So that was kind of cool. And then on the men's side, I guess Cody wins it again. They're really giving him the super push, but that's cool. I like Cody.
Damn it, if CM Punk didn't get hurt again. I feel like he is made of glass now.
That might be a sign that he's not cut out for this because he took 10 years off.
Yeah,
You know?
and also, how many times did he get hurt in AEW and then come back and then get in trouble?
Yeah, he just took off too much time. He
Is
took
that what
off
that
too much
is?
time, and he doesn't have like his body doesn't can't hold up to the rigors of wrestling. I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's going to be out for like 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, overall, I was entertained, but I thought it could have been better. It was not one of my favorites.
And then what do you think about the title match?
I hate the fact that they wasted a spot on Pat McAfee. Where he
that did make me mad. That made me mad.
And he just jumps right out. Like, I mean, come on,
that was
dude,
stupid.
Don't waste the spot. Give me somebody else. Put somebody else in there, and then have a big pop. For them to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was weak. That means that they only had 29 spots.
Where was it held? Do you know?
St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area.
Tampa Bay. Okay. All right. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers that live out there.
That's why Hogan was like doing the narration for it.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, another thing I thought it was interesting that they had the TNT champion, the women's champion.
The TNA, right.
TNA. I like the crossover, right? So, I mean, it would have been really cool if they would have got some other crossover wrestler to appear, and do something. But overall, I mean, I like the Rumbles matches. The 4-way title match.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I mean, I knew
that was going to happen.
Yeah, I knew Roman's not going to lose, and I knew out of those 4 guys, AJ's the one who's gonna have to like
fall, take the fall.
Right? Yeah, right. So it is what it is. I wasn't like too impressed, and then I don't know what was the other match. I can't even remember.
It was Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens.
Okay, yeah, I fast forward for most of that because I just really don't care about that storyline, but I did watch a little bit. Logan Paul, he's amazing. I'm a fan of his for sure. He's definitely amazing. I would love to see him. I would love to see him be more like go full time because I think he's really good at what he does. And I would be okay if he went higher, if he went into like the IC title or a championship match because I think he's that good. What was the other match? Anything else?
No, that was it. There was only pretty much 4 matches, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think if you didn't watch Raw last night, they also set up pretty much the storylines that are going to go to the other title matches for the men's and women's. But since I already knew that CM Punk was probably set to face Seth Rollins, but now it kind of looks like it's going to be Drew McIntyre, and that Bayley is eventually going to face Io Shirai or Io Sky, and then Nia Jax is going to face Rhea Ripley, and it looks like Rhea and Bayley are both probably going to become baby faces.
Rhea against Nia, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be interesting.
And I think there were both babyface turns last night for those two because Bayley kind of looked shocked while the other women kind of was like,
I don't want to see Rhea be a babyface. I like her.
The fans have made that, I think.
I like her as like the bad guy.
But you remember WrestleMania last year? You heard the loud pop she got from it, the cheers.
Yeah, she's like a badass heel, basically. Mm-hmm. People like her. But anyway, so overall, I enjoyed it. But okay, let's talk about.
She had to be a victim somehow to look vulnerable.
Let's talk about. So is she still part of Judgment Day then?
I guess so. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, she came out last night, and Nia just beat her to shreds. Like came out there and attacked her.
Yeah. Well, that's good for me because I am heavily invested in Rhea Ripley, so I'm good with that. I just within arm's length right now, I've got 4 of the best Rhea Ripley cards in existence.
You're a Mammy fan.
Yes, I love Mommy. Okay,
is it Mammy or Mommy?
Mommy.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give you a Mommy shirt.
Mammy? Did you say Mammy? Is that like Mammy? Is that like English? Is that how the English say it?
Mammy.
Come on, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Let's talk about real quick Vince McMahon storyline. I don't want to comment too much on this because I don't know what's cool, what's not to say, but I will say
right?
This is the only thing I'm going to say about this, okay?
Okay.
I feel that I have this Vince McMahon action figure, this Mattel Elite action figure on my eBay store. And as soon as that announcement came out, just like this within the same day, somebody clicked the buy it now on that.
Oh, I was going to say eBay asked you to take it down.
No. So they
It's the
click
opposite.
now
Okay.
on that, right? And I had it at $75, and the last sale was like $65, but somebody just bought it now because I think
Oh, wow.
they want it, right? And
Why?
here's what I think is unique about wrestling fans. They tend to separate the person from the character a lot, right? So like in terms of if they do bad stuff. So if the person does something bad, then they'll ignore it basically, and they'll still be a fan of that person. And I think that's what's going to happen with Vince McMahon. Whatever these allegations, however they turn out to be, I'm sure WWE will erase him, which is crazy to think, but they'll probably just pretend to forget about him completely. Nobody will say anything about him, blah, blah, blah. But wrestling fans will still buy his stuff because he is part of wrestling history and lore. And that's just how wrestling fans are. I know like some people still collect Chris Benoit stuff,
Right.
and other crazy things like that. So that's what I that's the thoughts I have on that. Anything you want to add?
No, I meant it's kind of weird. I don't think I would do it, but I can understand why fans do it. Yeah, because you're buying the character, not the real person when you buy those figures or the cards sometimes. Chris Benoit, I think, was more an issue of, was it CET, brain damage issues, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is sad. It's sad. Whereas I think McMahon's issue was ongoing. But there's also other people involved. I heard like the Bella twins, like mother's husband, I guess their stepfather, Laurentis or whatever. He's also in the indictment, and so is Brock Lesnar. And that's why he wasn't at Royal Rumble the other night.
Crazy to see how that shakes out, but so we'll just kind of have to wait and see about that. But I think that people are still going to be buying Vince McMahon stuff like memorabilia, autographs, toys. I have a Vince McMahon auto that I'm just going to throw up on eBay, and if somebody buys it for me,
so you're going to sell your Vince right now? Then.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to wait around to see what happens. I mean, I'm just gonna sell it off and be done with it, and then that's it. Okay, so anything else you want to talk about for news before we get into Culture Collision talk?
No, it's just as like I said. Also, CM Punk was going to be out for 6 months. He got injured at the end of the Royal Rumble by Drew McIntyre, and then they used that injury as a storyline with Drew. And that's about it. But there's a lot of stuff going on from here on out until WrestleMania. So everybody stay tuned. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Leave some in the comments below. Yeah,
interesting. Okay, so let's talk about Culture Collision. So quick, guys, me and Merlin shot so much content. So much content that we could probably make like a
series.
7-part mini series.
That's right.
Trip. From Dallas down to Austin to Atlanta. We had an incredible interview with Joe of Got Baseball Cards, and we had a great interview, equally incredible interview with Raphael from Culture Collision. We even made him cry, guys.
Right, and then we even had one, I think, what was her name? Taylor from Monkey See, Monkey Do in Austin. I mean, we have all kinds of different types of interviews with people while we were on this journey.
Yes. So Merlin is working on it. I'm going to be really like cracking the whip and making sure that he meets his deadlines. Because this is where Merlin really shines as a professional editor in the entertainment industry for how many years now? 20 years, something like that?
Like 10. That's it.
Okay, 10 years. For 10 years.
I was a DJ before that.
All right. This is where Merlin gets to show his editing skills. So if the videos are shit, it's all his fault, guys.
Oh, great. Oh, my God.
Okay, I am an on-screen talent. I did my job during this.
And if Dan can't act, let me know in the post below.
I did the interviews. I did everything for Merlin. He was like,
he just didn't smother and cover his Waffle House.
I got it on the side. I got the chili on the side for Waffle House, guys. But Merlin was an overbearing producer, director during this whole trip. I nearly walked off the job, guys.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So, but he's got the footage now. He's got the footage, so he will be producing that whenever he gets it out, guys. So let's all keep pressure on Merlin. And I think that you guys will be
stay tuned. We'll be having this week.
Very entertained by the content that we're gonna release, but we're gonna give you a little bit of a preview by just kind of talking about it right now. Culture Collision. This is our first time walking the show. We did not set up, okay, guys.
Right.
Usually, like at Dallas, we always set up as vendors. We've been setting up for vendors for like 2.5 years now, basically. All our previous content, all our show vlogs and everything has been from a vendor perspective. So Culture Collision was the first time that we actually walked the show. And wow, it was way different perspective than had we been set up as vendors.
I know. And the thing is, all week before that, you were like, Merlin, I think we may have made a big mistake.
I
may have had FOMO, and I was like, relax, Dan, relax, man.
Because I was like, I'm used to being a vendor.
I know.
Sitting down and letting the people come to me. You know what I mean? But this time,
and they still did, man. They still did.
I walked the show, and it was
fun.
It was so much fun. To be honest, it was so much fun to just go, just to be carefree and walk down the aisles and look and hunt for treasures. And I found some really good stuff. I found some really
I think we manifested that. I think
rare Mickey Mouse cards. I found a extremely rare Rhea Ripley card, which I'll show you guys later. I got to meet some really incredible people. Gramps from Florida was a great person to meet.
Big Star Wars guy. Who was a viewer
collector. We got to meet all sorts of other people. Kevin Ford, if you're in here, we got to meet you at Cards HQ. We had the freedom because we were walking. We didn't have to be at the table all the time. We had the freedom to go to Cards HQ. We had the freedom to go out to eat, to go do all sorts of different things that we don't normally
go to trade night. We went to and find actually some good real estate.
Yeah, so I had a great time. I loved Culture Collision. I had a great time there. I made deals. At trade night, I sold an incredible amount of cards, which was the biggest surprise, to be honest.
The only thing that didn't go our way was our live stream set up at Cards HQ. Yeah. So we apologize for that, but it got a little out of hand.
That was not our fault. That was not our fault.
It wasn't our fault.
It was just too packed.
Yes.
For us to do anything. And to be honest, I had more fun setting up a trade night after that.
Right. So it was meant to be, right? Yeah, there was a silver lining to it all.
Broken up about that. But overall, walking the show as an attendee, having the different perspective from being a vendor was way more fun, in my opinion. I loved it. I had a great time. The show itself, Culture Collision, similar to Dallas, but different people, different inventory. In terms of size, similar to Dallas with the big showroom. A lot of people were there, but it wasn't like super packed, to be honest, because like I could easily walk around between the aisles. I wasn't like bumping elbows with people or anything like that, so I never had that issue. And then I saw some people asking, were deals, was cash moving around? I think so. On the first day, at least, a Friday.
Yeah, because that's when the big spenders come on Friday. That's the professionals.
Cash was definitely moving around. I bought more at that show than I've ever bought at Dallas at normal shows.
It's kind of like they knew we were going to be on the other side of the table because the stuff that you and I collect and we sell and trade for was there. And those guys never set up at other shows until we got there. So there was like the Mickey Mouse vintage, the Disney vintage cards. And then for me, there was Reed who had all those music cards that I must have spent a fortune on.
Music was big at that show.
Yeah, right?
Not just that guy. There were like several vendors selling music, autographed CD covers, music cards, all sorts of stuff.
Even when we got baseball cards, he had a lot of music stuff.
Yeah. So music was definitely really big at that show. But I would say overall, my impressions of the activity level of the show were the same at Dallas in terms of people were buying and selling for collections. Anything under $500 was moving.
Yes.
Anything above that was a little bit hard to sell. And then the feedback that I got from other vendors was that the repackers were out buying normally.
They were still in full force again at Atlanta?
Full force, 90%. And because they were buying at 90%, a lot of vendors were holding strong on their cards. They were not selling, under 90% for their comps and things like that. But that's my overall impression. What do you have to add?
I agree. And I also heard on Saturday it was a little tough for the sellers, the vendors, because I think a lot of people were there more than the other days. But I think the last time you and I were there 2 years ago, Saturday was the same kind of thing. I think a lot of people were just there to window shop and look at all. It wasn't like the real buyers and collectors. It was more people like, oh, I wonder what's going on at this card show. Let's all bring the family and look around.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yes, definitely. And I think that if we were vendors, I think that we would not have had a good show, to be honest.
It would have been like it was 2 years ago. And Dan would have been like, why did I freaking do this?
It would have been tough. It would have been tough. And so, I mean, it was just this whole business model of being attendees right now, because of the way the market is, it's better. We don't have to pay for tables. We don't have to wake up super early and stay.
Tell them what made you really happy, though.
What?
It wasn't the show. It was actually the show, but it was like trade nights that was fun.
Oh, I sold thousands of dollars, guys, at trade nights. So that's what I'm.
Look at that smile on his face, man.
I'm always happy when I make some money. You know what I mean?
And I was like, we didn't have to pay the overhead. We didn't have to pay for like a $600 table or how much it was.
You're so great. Why can't every show be like this, right? I made thousands.
You were moving stuff, man. We both were. It was great.
And it was perfect because there's something that I want to buy that I'm going to try to buy at auction. I'm not going to say what
right now what it is, so no one outbids you.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what it is, but now I've got some cash. Okay.
Oh, so no, his pockets are burning, guys.
There's a good chance that I'm going to win this, so we'll see. I'll let you know by next week. Okay.
This is something that's on auction right now that's going to supposedly end next week, correct?
Yes, and that's all I'm going to say. I said too much.
Okay, that's all you're going to tell me?
Don't ask me anything else. I'll tell you offline, okay?
Okay.
I said too much. I said too much out there, all right? All you guys got to know is that I'm in a good position now thanks to Culture Collision. I cashed out. So I did sell my Luke Skywalker autograph card by Mark Hamill. So
right, you had that for a while.
Yeah. I'm trying to consolidate because I kind of see the writing on the wall on some of these things. And I'm just trying to consolidate my collection to be under 5K for any individual card, because I have.
So you don't want a card under. You don't want any card over $5,000, correct? To bring with you.
I'll have some cards that I'm not just gonna sell, but I have a lot of cards that are in that $5,000 to $10,000 range,
right?
And they just you can't move them around.
The only card you have of that right now pretty much is the Kobe. You had the Jordan, you sold that at Dallas, but now I guess you have the Kobe.
I've got some Star Wars Superfractors. I've got
that you brought with you?
Huh?
That you brought with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Besides the Kobe.
I have that, but I have to adjust my prices on those. Because I'm not gonna get the price that I originally intended.
So you're gonna price them under $5,000 now?
Yeah, which will be a steal. Wow. Which will be a steal.
So that means you're taking a hit?
No, I'm not taking a hit because I got into it. I never take a hit, guys. Okay.
Okay.
The curator never takes a hit. Okay.
Oh.
Sometimes I do, but for the most part, I never do.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna try to get it down because what I'm learning right now is that when I do set up as a vendor at Dallas or even Burbank in a couple weeks, if I don't have the right priced inventory, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to move.
Okay.
So I have to pivot from my current position and do something else right now. And that's what my plan is. And that's what I'm learning. That's what I saw at Culture Collision. Anything else you want to add?
Did you sell the Kobe?
No, I did not. I still have the Kobe.
And why is that? But you had offers, correct?
My best offer on the Kobe. So here's another thing. I walked the showroom floor and I shop the Kobe around, which I haven't really done that in a long time. Mm-hmm. So it reminded me what it's like to deal with vendors that always try to buy at a margin, right?
Okay.
People that try to buy at 70, 80%. It reminds me of how you have to deal with those people. So I did that with the Kobe. and I got some people like had no idea what this card was. Like they didn't know 90s basketballs at all, which I don't blame them. Whatever.
Right,
They
but
just
some of the big flippers that we know of did know what you had
Oh, yeah.
and tried
Like,
to
basketball people
tenderize
know.
you.
Yeah, real basketball people know what that card is. The best offer I got on that was $4,500, which is a good offer. Okay,
Right. But you didn't want to take it?
It's good. It's semi strong, but no.
But what happened?
I didn't want to take it because the dude was rude to me. I'm not gonna say what I'm not gonna say names,
Right.
but he was a little bit rude, and maybe I took a little bit more offense to it than a normal person would. But that's just how I am, right? What happened was basically I show the card to the dealer, and they do their thing. They look at their comps. Oh, it's sold for this, and oh, this is not as strong as a Jordan, and oh, look at the back here. They just try to like beat
Put
you
it
up.
down?
Yeah, they try to put it down. I forget there's a term for that, but they basically
I
try
hate
to
that.
put it down so that they can hit you with a low ball
Ugh.
offer. Then he gives me the first offer, 4K, and I turned that down. I said nah, and then he said, well, before that, let me just say, I hate when they do this. I have all my cards. I have a clear sticker on the card that says what I want for it. Okay,
Right.
This time I had a sticker on the Kobe 5.5, 5,000,
5,500. Mhm.
right? I hate it when they look at it and they say, what do you want for it? I said, the sticker's right there, fool. Look at it, read it. What do you want for it? Because they're trying to get me
Oh my
to throw
gosh.
out a number so that they can hit me better. Okay. I hate that. That automatically rubs me the wrong way. The second thing,
What's your worst offer is what they're asking.
the second thing that rubs me the wrong way is when they say, what's your best offer? And I give them my best offer. And then they hit me lower than that,
I don't. Well, that joke. To me, my best offer is the $5,500.
So
what is your worst offer? Is what it really
So
amounts
this guy, he looks at my price tag. He said, "What do you want for it?" And I said, "The price tag's right there." Okay, that's what I'm asking for. And he's like, "Well, I don't want to be there. What's your best offer?" And I told him $5,000. $5,000 is what it's going to take that Kobe portrait, platinum portraits off of my hands.
Okay.
He said $5,000. He looks at it. He's like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." He starts talking shit about it, and then he hits me at 4K, and I was like, "Nah, man, I'm good." And he's like, all right, I'll take a chance, $4,500, which is a strong offer. Okay, I'll give him that. All right. And I didn't want to take it, so I politely said, thanks. Let me think about it. Let me, whatever. Let me walk around. Basically, I was just trying to be nice. And he looks at me, he's like, if you leave this table, the offer's no good. Basically trying to put me on the spot. And if this was like, this guy didn't know who he was talking to, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just like any old over leveraged schmuck off the street and I had paper hands, I would have been like, oh, okay, I'll take the 4,500. I'll take the 4,500. But I had a good weekend at Dallas and I had a good trade night, so I was not hurting for money at all. And
so you walked away? Is that what you're saying?
I looked at him and I said, no thanks, and then I walked away.
And that's it? And he didn't come back running after you?
No, I don't know if he did or not, but
you didn't know when you kept running.
It just rubbed. You
didn't look back.
I don't do well with ultimatums. If he was nice about it, then or he was joking around, in a playful manner, I would have been okay with it. But the way that he said it to me was just like so
cold.
It just seemed so rude to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed so rude to me. So that was the best offer I got on it. And then after that, I changed the sticker price from 5,500 to 6,000.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, just because I wanted to, right? And it's weird for me. A lot of things that I do in the hobby, I just kind of do just to kind of almost piss people off. You know what I mean? Like if somebody rubs me the wrong way and says that, oh, he's crazy or whatever, or you're not going to get what you want for this card or whatever, I will go beyond the lengths of normal effort to prove them wrong, right?
Right.
Well, so now I am determined. Okay, now I have an imaginary vendetta in my head against this person to show them that they missed out, and I'm going to try to get, I'm going to get my $5,000 for that card for sure. Okay, or I will hold it until the next pandemic boom happens. Okay.
Now there hasn't been any recent comps on PSA 9 of that card recently, correct?
No, but I did hear at Dallas there was another one out there that sold for $5,000 at Dallas. But
okay,
that's not like online.
That's just hearsay.
Yeah, but that's what I was told at Dallas. So $5,000 is the number I'm going for. The last actual sale online for that card was a little over $5,000 last year. It is a pop 18, so very low pop. In comparison, a Michael Jordan PSA 9 Platinum Portraits sold for $9,000, I believe. Mm-hmm. A raw Platinum Portraits recently sold for just under $2,000 recently. So, that's what I'm going to ask for. I think the price is reasonable for what it is.
Now, what would have happened if that guy had bought it for either $4,500 or $5,000? What would he have done with it?
Oh, I am 100% sure he'd put a $6,000 price tag on it.
He would have. And he would have had diamond hands on it too?
I don't think he would have diamond hands,
but just enough to make a profit, correct?
Yeah, I think he probably put $6,000 on it, and he probably
sell it for $55,000.
He'd probably sell it for like $5,300.
Okay,
like that, right? Because the last sale on it is like over $5,000. It's super rare. It doesn't come up for sale that much. There was another one that was on eBay, but I think that one was sold at Dallas because it's not on eBay anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is, right? It's a rare card,
mm-hmm.
and all I got to do, I'm not trying to wholesale it to a flipper at 75, 80% or whatever it is. I'm not trying to do that. I am trying to find the right collector that wants that, a Kobe
mm-hmm.
collector or a 97 metal collector trying to put together a set, because it's only a 13 card set, the Platinum Portraits. So I need to find that right person, and when I do, then I will get my price for the card, and then I'll flaunt it to everybody on social media and tell them how
well, maybe at Burbank Card Show you'll be able to sell it for what you want for it.
Maybe I'm into the card at a really good price where I don't have to sell it. You know what I mean? And
right.
Maybe we can get into this part too, because this is an interesting part of our conversation with Raphael Prism God,
mm-hmm.
right? Where he said that we were talking about some like holding cards, and he said that if sometimes you can afford to hold a card, and sometimes you can't afford to hold a card. And I thought that was a very interesting way of phrasing it, right? Because we use the term diamond hands. We use paper hands and diamond hands. And when we say that, we basically mean like, if you have diamond hands, you are strong enough to not panic sell and hold a card that you think is valuable. That is the intention behind using that word.
Mm-hmm.
But with Prism God's term, where he says you have to be able to afford to hold the card, what he was talking about is that a lot of people have collections that are worth a lot of money, right? They have like 6-figure collections, but they might have bills to pay in real life. They might have to have kids to take care of, college.
So you have to sell one to cover those costs.
Right. Like, it would be irresponsible if you cannot pay your real life bills and obligations.
Mm-hmm.
It would be irresponsible to have a card that is valuable to not sell it to pay those bills. Right. So I thought that was a very interesting perspective, because I never really thought about it that way. I always thought about it as like, you got to be strong. You can't be weak, to sell your card. I never thought about it in terms of, if I really need the money, should I just sell it for whatever I can get it for, so I can take that money and put it towards whatever I need it for?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was really interesting to kind of hear him use that terminology and things like that. But for how it applies to me for this card, I'm in a good position in life right now where I can afford to hold the card for as long as
that makes me feel better. I'll be able to sleep tonight knowing this, Dan.
Yes. So nobody's going to be able to take that off my hands for anything less than $5,000. And because the feedback that I got on the card was really great, all in Dallas and all in Atlanta. So it made me feel confident that I can get $5,000 for it. And with the right promotion, who knows, man? If another card comes out and the sale is strong, I might even ask for
$6
more than
grand.
that. I might even ask for 5,500. You know what I mean? So we will see. Like the longer I hold this card, the more I'm going to ask for it, basically. So unless somebody's out there and they want to get it really quick, now is the best time to try to snag it off from me because it's only going to get more expensive.
Do you still have the Wrestling All-Star cards, too, or did you sell those?
No, I still have them. I still have
them.
Yeah. And I'm very confident in those cards where I could hold those cards for a couple years and I could be totally fine with it. You know what I mean? If I sell them, then I'll make a little bit of money and I'm okay with that. But if I don't sell it, I'm totally cool with holding those cards.
Yeah, because you like those anyway.
Yeah, they're super desirable.
Yeah, a lot of people were touching them during trade night, so I thought you were definitely going to seal the deal.
I almost sold the Hogan.
I know. I saw the woman walking around with it.
For $3,500, which would have been a nice little come up for me because I had a very favorable comp that ended that last week on that card.
Yeah, and this is the 82 Wrestling All-Stars Hulk Hogan. What was the grade on it?
A 7.
A PSA 7.
Yeah, PSA 7.
And that's pretty good for those cards, correct?
Oh man, if I would have sold that card at trade night, I would have been breakdancing on the floor. I would have been so happy.
Oh, okay. I got to write this down because next time I'm with you, you need to do this. Can you actually breakdance?
No, I can't.
Okay,
no,
so I gotta see. So we
no,
may have to take you to the hospital afterwards.
I can do a spinneroonie.
Oh my goodness, this I have to see, and a couple of like drinks of soju, maybe.
Right. Another interesting thing I want to talk about is the piggy bank drop. The piggy banks drop.
Oh my gosh, yeah, let's talk about that. We had 3 scavenger hunt drops in 3 different cities. And what do you think about that? How do you think that was perceived?
I thought it was great. I thought this was a new concept that we were doing, guys. We were just trying to do something fun. Piggy banks gifted me 3 cards so that I could hide them and do a little scavenger hunt and make some content about it. And the content was great. Like
it was.
They got really good views, got really good engagement. People loved it. The first time I did the drop in Dallas, I was a little bit nervous that nobody would find it and that we
were scared that like the janitor would find it.
Yeah. So I think I made it too easy because somebody found it right away within like 1 hour. They found it. Okay.
Right. We hit it in Dallas downtown somewhere, and while we were walking back to the restaurant for dinner, they found it.
Yeah. It was in our hotel lobby under a chair, basically. And somebody was able to decipher where we were. And they got it. So, okay.
They followed us.
Yes. The second time that we did the drop was in Austin, and it was in a toy store, Monkey See, Monkey Do in Austin, because we had a great conversation with the clerk there. And it was
we had a really good shoot there, Taylor.
Yeah, it was really late, and it was raining outside. So we just, I just decided to give it to her, and I did a time delay because they had closed the store. So I said I did a time delay. If you go during this the staff member's shift the next day, you can get it. So I was thinking somebody might roll in around like 1 or 2 o'clock, whatever. Some dude, and if you're in this chat,
well, first of all, some people showed up that night and it was already closed, and they were mad,
they were pissed. And then, but some dude had the what do you want to call it, either lame or brilliant idea to hire somebody to wait in line for the store to open up.
That's what people do at these shoe stores up the street from me. They hire people to get these exclusive shoes.
Yes. So somebody paid them to do that, and then I got messages from other people that came there later, and they were not the first person in line, and they were pissed also. They were pissed because of that, right? They said, that's cheating, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So in Atlanta, I said, okay, we're not going to just drop it somewhere because they're going to find it too quick. We're not going to do any type of time delay because I don't want people paying for somebody to wait in line or whatever. So instead, I made a quest. Basically, you had to find 3 different people, take pictures with them.
This was much better.
And then you come to me, and I'll tell you the secret drop location. And they had to meet you. They had to meet Jeff Wilson. They had to meet Raphael, Prism God, take pictures. And that actually made it very difficult for people for whatever reason, because only 2 people were able to complete that quest.
Whoa!
Look at that. What happened?
The hell? Did you fart balloons? What was that?
I don't know what happened.
Okay.
That always amazes me when that happens. But anyways, only 2 people were able to complete the quest. and I told them what time I was going to drop it off, and I told them the general area that it's going to be in, which is basically the hotel lobby of the hotel, the Renaissance Hotel, right?
But that's a big lobby.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge,
Yes.
right? And I knew that these guys were waiting for me, so I thought I was really slick about this. I changed my
They were
clothes.
stalking you, man. They totally
changed
were.
my
I know they
clothes,
were. They even told me.
And I was wearing a hood, and I went down during the drop time, and I was like sneaking around. I wasn't looking at anybody, and I thought that
He even wore a different jacket. He was trying to be incognito, and it
was
wasn't.
full disguise. It was full disguise. Nobody would ever.
I didn't even recognize you. I was like, "Who's that guy wearing that jacket?" And it was you.
I thought it was good, but apparently these guys were waiting for me. Okay, and one dude, you know, he's an Army veteran. Maybe he's got like military special ops training or something like that. But he was waiting for me, and as I walked out of the elevator, he was stalking me from behind. And I didn't even know. This guy was so good that he was right behind me the whole time waiting for me, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then the other guy was Zach. He was waiting on the top of the escalator, and I didn't see him really.
They were coming from every direction.
And then I went to the escalator, and I dropped it in the planter. And you can watch my reel on this. It's brilliant. You can watch the reel on my Instagram. I drop it in there nonchalantly so nobody could see it. And I was going to go down the hallway and film and wait for the people to come and try to find it. But the second I dropped it off, I hear like scrumming, blah, 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 blah. And I turn around and I see these two dudes dive into the planter.
And these are two big guys. They're both
these guys
pretty
big. Okay. If you know these guys, they're not small.
No, they're like football player size.
They're in the planter wrestling over the drop, the piggy banks drop. And they were like, and one person got it, bench mob, Zach bench mob, or right?
Chicago bench mob.
Chicago bench mob. He got it. And the other guy, I forget his Instagram name, it's Army something.
ATC, I think.
He gets so pissed. He's like, fuck. You know, he's like, F this. And he threw his cell phone across the room. He was so pissed. But it was wild. It was wild to see them do that. After temperatures, after people kind of calmed down a little bit, they shook hands and they said, hey, everything's cool. And then I told Piggy Banks, and he said that he would get the second place person a consolation card prize. So everybody turned out to be happy.
Yay, good.
Overall, the idea of the scavenger hunt I thought it was really fun. And I'm gonna, next time we go somewhere, I'm gonna ask Piggy Banks if we can do it again, because I thought it was really fun.
I think he really liked it because he really liked all our posts and I think he was tickled pink about it. Yeah, the other guy, the consolation guy, was Army ATC 22. So check out his content.
Yeah, his name's Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was really cool. That was a really cool part of our trip. The interviews were really great.
Everything went our way.
Yeah,
Definitely.
The interviews, you know, the people that we met, Ralph and Joe and even Geoff, they were very generous with their time. Mm-hmm. So we got some great footage. We got to have really deep conversations with them, not about necessarily about what they collect or what their background is, but you know, what makes them successful in the hobby.
What brings them joy?
What are they looking at in terms of all the current trends and things that are happening? Mm-hmm. So we had some really good conversations. I made Prism God cry. I asked him some Oprah style questions, and I got him prepped,
Lord
and
have
he
mercy.
started crying. So that's going to be some great footage when Merlin cuts that up. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it into the next Michael Jordan crying meme.
No, we will never be invited back to Culture Collision if we do that.
And overall, it was really great. The places that we ate were really, really, really enjoyable. Mm-hmm. You know, especially that place we went to on the last day. So that was
I'm glad you found that place on Sunday. It had a lot of character too.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to this before we get into?
No, I mean, I think like you said, everything went our way. We even when we were on the other side of the table, we found things that brought us, you and I, joy, card wise or collectibles. I mean, how much more could you ask for? Vintage Mickey Mouse, or the guy that was the guy who actually he had a lot of Walt Disney, the rookie cards. What was that, from 31? And he's actually the guy that we met at the National who has the Type 1 photo of that card.
Right.
And we were willing to deal with him. We got to meet several of our viewers, Gramps, who had gone to Star Wars Celebration last year because he saw our content when we were at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. I met Reed, who has tons of music cards. A lot of people just wanted to share what their cards with us. They were just so happy and delighted to share their pop culture collectibles with Dan and myself. So that was definitely the greatest part of the trip by far. We got to meet Taylor from Monkey See Monkey Do in Austin, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind showing us around, showing some of the collectibles that's in the store?" She's like, "I'll go further than that. I'll take you to the back room." And Dan's like, "Oh yeah, the back room."
Oh, God, lots of treasures back there, guys. It was amazing. I was living my dream. I was living my dream.
So, I mean, how great was that? And, I mean, we did pretty good at the Dallas Card Show. We saw a lot of music cards, and we just got, different perspectives from all over the place, from every end of the spectrum. And I couldn't be more happier and delighted and content with the content that we shot for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, hopefully Merlin will do a good job of putting.
Keep saying hopefully together. Merlin. We're gonna do it, man.
All right,
because we got a lot of good material.
You got a lot of pressure on you, and then
oh God, I'm not gonna have any pressure, man. We don't need pressure.
Release those. If we get really good feedback on that, guys, then we will do it again. We will do it again. Me and Merlin have already been talking. Like, we've been playing around with the idea of possibly going to the London Card Show later this year.
Maybe Nashville.
Nashville is on our list. Might even go to Canada again, guys. We might
Canada.
Edmonton, I think, would be one to go to, and then Edmonton.
Edmonton. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then maybe if I can convince him, guys, we might even go to Asia. If I can convince Merlin to go,
you don't have to convince me.
We might go to Asia, Japan, or somewhere else.
You get me scared when the Macau you said was going to cost us almost $10,000. I started sweating. I was like, I was going to have to take some of Dan's cards and try to sell them. It's like,
I don't want to go that far, but if we can go to maybe Japan or Korea,
yes,
we might do that for you guys. But it all depends on how this content goes.
But we even had two friends of ours in the hobby who said they might even do a show in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fun things that we can do with this whole travel content, guys. So we're really excited to share this with you guys. It will be releasing, I don't know, within a week.
Yeah, we're gonna just probably do some of the content by content, wherever we were at, like say Atlanta, Dallas, Austin, and then with that content make segments out of it, and then after that make shorter ones out of social media, and then string it all together and make them pilot, hopefully.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know, what do you think? Like a week?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'll start having those in the last few days. We'll, whatever is the most topical, we should get out soon. Probably like Cards HQ, and then work from there.
Yeah, you guys will see something soon. So look for that.
Yeah, okay, what would you guys like to see first coming out of the content that I'm editing? Do you want to see Cards HQ or something from Raphael, Culture Collision, Dallas, the Austin? Let me know in the comments below, okay?
Oh, that reminds me. Let's talk about Cards HQ real quick here.
Mm-hmm.
So that place is amazing.
Right.
I could not believe how big that store is and how many cards are in that store and how different it is from a regular or typical LCS. So it was really good for us
state of the art.
Yeah, to experience that, because earlier that day we had spent several hours at Got Baseball Cards, Joe Davis's shop. Got Baseball Cards in Stone Mountain.
That was a long day. Whew.
And that place is what you would typically expect a baseball card shop to be. They had cards, they had bobbleheads, they had some comic books, they had dollar boxes, they had, just like what you would expect a card shop to be. But it was
really much more clean than I thought it would be. It was very organized and clean and modern in front.
Organized, but definitely a baseball card shop. If they were going to do a movie and they needed to film a baseball card shop scene, they would go there. That's how.
You think so?
That's what he would think. Yeah, okay. Because it's typical, very typical of a baseball card shop. And I found at home in there. Honestly, those are the kind of shops that I used to visit when I was a kid too. So I totally felt at home in there. Then we go to Cards HQ, and that place looked like more like
It reminded me of like a Tesla
it was
inside.
like like an Apple store type.
Yes,
Store,
yes, yes.
Everything,
State of the art.
yeah, everything was
Innovative.
organized. Everything was behind glass. They had all sorts of cameras and technology everywhere.
Remember the push cart that had the cameras on both sides with the lights where they can just go down the aisle and they can film all the cards that are in the vertical display cases and have them up for sale so people all over the world can see this on stream.
They have four really innovative things that they're doing there, and I'll go over each of them one by one. The first one is what Merlin said, a cart. So if you don't understand that, basically they have aisles of card displays.
And they're vertical.
They're gonna have a push cart that has a camera mounted to it. That when they push it between the aisles, that camera will stream online, and you can see what their current inventory is, and you can actually buy it as they're walking down the aisles. So
it's basically doing like a 360 almost.
You could buy it. There's going to be some person there talking, and you can buy it, and then they'll pull it off of the rack right there. So that's never been done before. That's pretty cool. Second thing is they have dedicated what they call cabanas, which are like offices that will do 24-hour breaking essentially.
Now, what was the nickname or the term he gave it?
I just said cabanas.
No, but it was called something else cabana, like a card cabana or a break cabana?
Breaking cabana.
Okay.
So anyway, and then they have a TV on top of the cabana so you can watch them stream. I mean, you can watch them as they're breaking and everything. So it's like entertainment value too. So that's pretty cool. I don't think any store has actually done that before. Then they have another public table where anybody can sit down and break on camera, which will be streamed on their YouTube channel 24/7, basically, while their store is open anyways. So anybody like me and Merlin could buy a box. We can go sit down at this table and we can break it online and people can see, and we can have a box battle. Or
now that was the open one?
Yeah.
The one that was open with the screens above us?
Yeah. And then, not only is it being streamed online, but there's a viewing area there too where people can sit and watch. So it's kind of like a stage almost.
It is. It looked like a poker table.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a poker table, a blackjack table. And
then
the fourth thing that they had there, which I thought was interesting, is they have these cases where they have the vertical display cases, which they have in Asia and Japan. I talk about that all the time. It was actually my idea to bring that over to America. I'm pretty sure Geoff Wilson was watching this episode when I was talking about that and took that idea. Okay, but that's okay. It's cool.
I think that's why he felt entitled to give us a sneak tour.
Yes. Okay. And but he said that he will have employees that will walk to the display case, pull out the card for you, and they will have a mobile checkout tablet. So you can swipe your card there. And I'm sure it's going to have a tipping option that they'll make you feel guilty for.
30% automatically, unless it defers to 30%.
But yeah, so you could do like a mobile checkout from each of the card displays. So that's all really cool. And plus he has his content studio there. It looks like a DJ's radio booth or something like that.
Yeah, like Sports Card Investor has their studios there now.
Yeah, so really cool. But here's the biggest takeaway that I have here, okay?
Okay.
Almost everybody that I talked to that was kind of negative about Cards HQ, they're all saying the same thing. Brick and mortar doesn't work. The place is too big. It's too expensive. Nobody's going to come in there and buy constantly, blah, 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 right? They're all basically taking a shit on this card store.
Okay.
Here's what I learned, though, okay? The card store is a decoy, guys.
It's decoy of what?
It's just a front. It's not really a card store. The Cards HQ is not a business brick and mortar card store. The business model is not dependent on foot traffic going there buying cards from them. That's further from the truth. I think if Geoff Wilson didn't sell one card in person at the store, he wouldn't care at all.
He wouldn't notice.
The business model is 24/7 breaking. That is what they have built the shop to do. That's why they have 7 breaking stations. That's why they have 24/7 streaming. That's why they have a dedicated buying office for people to come in and give them, replenish their inventory. They're going to be ripping stuff online. That's where they're going to make all their money. Everything else is just for show. Like when we went there for trade night, we couldn't even have a trade night there because it was like a cocktail party, basically.
It was pretty much like a premiere party more than a trade night.
It looks fancy, but it's all for show, guys. And it doubles as his content studio, so he can make a lot of content there. So I think that was the biggest misconception about Cards HQ. It's not a traditional LCS,
Okay.
It is a 24/7 breaking business that just happens to have a storefront.
So you're pretty much telling me and the viewers that it's basically a streaming studio disguised as a card shop.
Yes. And that's why I think he's going to make a ton of money, guys. I think he's going to make a ton of money because breakers and streamers, if you do it right and you have a great system and you have the inventory and the personnel in place, you could make a lot of money doing that. And I think they've already tested it out. I think they did a couple shows on Whatnot already and Fanatics Live and things like that. And they kind of proven that they can kind of do it. So they just need to get better and more efficient at it. But I think that card store is going to be, or that business is going to be very, very profitable for him.
Now, do you think his sell strategy that he told us is going to work? Whereas if he doesn't sell it, a card in an X amount of time, that he's going to do, the following, like sell it as an auction or whatnot?
Yeah. So his business model, basically, if you guys don't know, is basically he buys cards at 70%, right? And then he tries to sell the card within 30 days at 100%, or whatever. And if he does not sell it within 30 days, he turns the inventory over. He sends it to auction. It sells for whatever it sells for, right? It sells for whatever it sells for. So he's having constant turnover of his inventory, which if you look at it from a single card perspective, if you buy a card for like, $100 and then you send it to auction. I mean, if you buy a card for $70 thinking that it's $100 and you can't sell it for $100 and then you send it to auction and maybe it goes for $65 or $60 or whatever, then you might think that's a losing business model. But the way that you got to think about it is you got to think about it in terms of month to month revenue. So not individual transactions, right? Some cards you may lose money, other cards you may make money. But it will all dollar cost average over the course of the month and quarter and year. And if you do it, he's probably going to be in a position where he's probably going to have more wins than he does losses. Plus, he's also limiting his inventory for cards in that like $1,000 and below range. He told us that he's not really going to have any cards more than like $5,000. But really,
that was exactly your mod. That was your
yes.
plan too.
Again, he stole my idea. I think, but we, who's to say I didn't consult him over the phone before this? Okay.
But, wow. Really? Okay.
Anyways, he said his sweet spot is going to be cards $500 and below. So even if he buys a card for $500 and it goes down 20%, he's only losing $100 on that card.
Because it's lower risk.
It minimizes his risk or mitigates his risk to that. So I think it's well thought out. Everything that they're doing is really thought out. As long as nothing crazy happens, I think that they're going to be very, very profitable and they're going to succeed from that.
We should set up one of these in the curator studio.
Yeah. Another interesting thing that he said that he's getting good support from Fanatics, but he's not really getting any support from Panini. That's interesting, right?
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. I don't want to get too into it. Maybe I said.
Is that for another episode?
Yeah, that's another episode. But anyways, overall, I think it's a great place. If you're in the area, definitely worth checking out. And
nice.
I'm excited to see how that store does. And I tell you right now, if that store kills it, you're going to see a lot of copycats in the industry for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully out here in Los Angeles.
Right. Okay, so let's get, if we don't have anything else, let's get to these comments.
Yeah, let's do it. We have a lot and it's getting late, guys.
Yeah, so we'll get into this real quick here. Let's just do one more plug.
Let's do it.
If you need a Between Two Slabs t-shirt, contact me, DM me. We only have size large left. Only a few of these $30.
And that's me in the blue shirt, and that's Dan in the red shirt, if you couldn't already tell.
I'm the one with the bigger slabs.
Oh, shut up, dude. This guy has an inferiority complex, obviously.
All right, let's go here.
Oh, my goodness. Let's do it, Dan. Mark the Collector, happy Tuesday party, people. And Taco Tuesday, Mark.
Mark actually bought one of our shirts, too, so I mailed it out.
Yeah, did you get it already?
So he will have it pretty soon.
Oh, he doesn't have it yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Sup, Chili. He's always second. Hello. Carlos, Rise and Shine Curator Army. These are the three people always in the line here. Carlos, ready for another great show. Let's get it. The Sports Car Professor 7, Or said, good evening, gentlemen. Been hearing a lot from him while we were away. Orris also says the Card Father does not like the vertical showcases. Cannot put in as much inventory. I thought the totally opposite. How about you, Dan? I thought you could put more in since it's vertical and not horizontal.
I understand where the Card Father is coming from when he says that, but here's my counter to that.
Okay.
His store, square footage wise, is gigantic. Like he has.
And you're speaking of a sports card
so
investor.
many display cases that he's got plenty of room. Okay, he doesn't need to put any more cards because he's got plenty of room to put out hundreds, if not thousands, of cards the way it is. But again, here's the misconception: it's not a meant to be a brick and mortar person goes in there, looks for cards, and buys cards. If they do, I think that's a bonus, right?
Yes,
those cards will be moved. All those cards will be sold online. That is the business
just icing
model
on the cake.
For that, yeah. So I think that traditionally the traditional card shop model really does not apply to what they're doing there.
I mean, personally, I think they were easier to see for display. Did you actually buy any cards when you were there?
No, but because there was just so many people there.
Yeah, it was too many people.
I didn't want to, fight with people to get through there. So, and I wanted to get the trade night. But if I was just walking there on a regular day, then I probably would for sure.
I bought some cards before we left because you had to wait for me. Some Taylor Swift cards. I bought them all. Nice shirts, Carlos said. Papa Jim, our buddy. Woohoo. Glad you do have your shirts on. Without them or just can't be unseen. Laughing out loud. Carlos, don't forget to smash the like button. That's correct, everyone. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like button and the bell button so you get notified for any other new videos. Big John, collector's cards, no Waffle House slander shall prosper.
All right, here's my thoughts.
Big John, you just
wondering about this, okay? So Waffle House,
you just woke the crack in here.
Waffle House, it was not bad. I'll give it credit. It's not bad. It's not great. It's
he needed to be drunk off soju first.
Basically, it was like an IHOP, essentially.
Yeah, it's a diner food.
I like the option to have like basically unlimited toppings on your hash browns. I like that idea because I had a side of chili, which was pretty good.
And how did you eat? Did you pour the chili on the hash browns, or did you dip it in?
Scoops of it and I put it on there and I ate it. Like a civilized person. I'm not gonna smother the damn chili all over. But
that's why it's called smothered, covered, and
they're crispy. If you put the chili on top, they're gonna get soggy. God. Come on, guys.
But that's how you eat it. You like, oh my goodness.
But everything else was just a little bit mid in my opinions. But it was cool, and nobody got in a fight there, and I didn't get attacked. So I guess it was a successful trip to the Waffle House.
I'm glad he didn't get attacked.
Yes. I was worried though. I was like on edge. I was like,
he was looking over his shoulder constantly. Yeah. I was like, dude, relax and enjoy your hash browns, Dan.
I was ready to throw a chair at somebody and get the hell out of there if I needed to, but luckily
we had a good server too. He was a nice gentleman. Yeah. CV Sports Cards. The boys are back in town. What's up, dudes? What's up, Adrian? Are you setting up with Adrian at the Burbank Card Show?
Adrian will be set up at Burbank.
Okay.
So come see us there.
Vintage Card Collector. Is Lorcana the next Metazoo, Dan?
No way.
Not even close?
Disney does not fail.
Why would he even ask that?
I don't know. He's just talking about it. Disney does not fail.
The Autograph Curator. Mad Balls are the best toy line.
You saw Mad Balls.
We
We
did.
saw Mad Bulls at the Austin Toy Store. They had it there. I'm just not a big fan.
They had everything.
Yeah. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Let me go through these here.
Kenny G, sup guys? Kenny G. Vintage card collector. Was there a lot of cash changing hands at Culture Collision? I think we already gave that answer.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, there's definitely always cash changing hands at these shows, but you know, it's not like it was a crazy buying show or anything like that.
Not like it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. It was a good show. It was a good show, but it wasn't like, you know, it's what we expected.
Oh, speaking of big cash, we met the guy Don who sold me the Kurosawa Superfractor 2 years ago. That Dan ended up selling the DAPs for what 5 digits, correct? And that guy, Dan didn't even recognize him. He's like, Merlin, is this the same guy? Because his table looks a lot different now, and it looked very fancy. And this time he did have a lot of Star Wars cards.
You know what?
He did not have any Star Wars cards when we met him, except for the shoebox.
He probably learned his lesson. Honestly, he's like, God damn it! I had that card the whole time in a shoebox. I need to put all my shit out. You know.
Michael Acorn. Oh gosh, is this Gramps? He has a new username. Gramps is awake and laughing with you. That's him. Mark the Collector. The sticker is right there, fool.
That's what I said there.
Carlos, Dan is a master of disguise. Oh, well, if you saw this jacket, it was kind of loud. I was like, why do you have a jacket on like that? But he was incognito, apparently, but he wasn't. CV Sports Cards, putting up Cards HQ first will get you the most viewership. That's correct. Thank you, Adrian. That's what we said.
True. Let's try to do that.
Yes, we will.
Right. Thanks
with
for
some
that.
sneak peeking. Yep. Thank you. Manuel, welcome back, guys. Welcome. Thank you, man. Eric Stanley, keep up the good work. Don't let the haters get to you. You can't let the haters get to you. Otherwise,
I'm pretty much
you would fold.
Yeah, I'm pretty much immune to most haters right now. Their slanderous comments bounce off me like bullets off Superman. They can't take me down. They've been trying to take me down for the better part of 2 years now, and it just keeps getting bigger. You know, they only make me bigger. I only get more followers. In fact, when I get to 25,000, which is going to happen soon, guys, on Instagram, 25,000 followers. That's a huge number, guys, okay? Believe me, on Instagram, that's very hard to do. When I get to that, I'm going to make an announcement that when I get to 30,000, I'm going to have my Cat Williams moment. And I'm going to
Cat Williams moment.
That's when I cash it. That's when I pull out the receipts, which I've been keeping on all these mofos. And you're going to hear what I really think, but not until I get to 30,000. So let's
oh my goodness.
Lord have mercy. And then I'll really give you guys a piece of my mind.
Oris Sports Card Professor 7 says Dan has a great point about Geoff Wilson's secret sauce for Cards HQ. That is breaking. Sports Card Dad reported that Geoff's vision of doing it in store grading fell through. Vertical integration. Yeah, I don't think people need more grading companies or grading stores.
No, yeah.
Aka Collects, the Christian we met from Dallas. Hi from Dallas, guys. Again, what was the best thing you ate in Atlanta? What was your favorite purchase? Dan, you want to go first?
Was those biscuits that we had on that last day.
Yes.
Those things were amazing, man. Like so fluffy, so crispy on the outside, so fluffy. Oh my God. I could eat like.
Is that the ones that had the jalapeno and the bacon bits in it?
Oh, no, just a regular biscuit.
Oh, the regular biscuit. Those were the cornbreads. Yeah,
that was the cornbread muffins. Put a little, what was that, like rhubarb jam or something like that?
Yeah, like some kind of jelly, jam.
Oh my God. I would go back to Culture Collision just to go back to that place for sure. That was the best.
What was it called? Vining's Inn? Vining
Inn? I think the Vining Inn. Something like that. But that area was really nice too. So
really fancy. I think Dan's already looking for real estate over there.
You know, I was like, oh my God.
Can you do that again? What was you doing with your lips?
That's me. Licking my chops.
Oh my goodness.
Licking my chops, okay?
Woo, I'm turning red over here.
My best purchase at Culture Collision, I'll go ahead and just show this off real quick here. We didn't really do mail day, but these are.
I can't.
I finally got these vintage Disney cards. I've been looking for these since the last national. These are the 1929 John Costa Mickey Mouse chocolate cards. It was basically a limited edition release in Spain. John Cosa is like a chocolate company, and they made this 15 card release. These cards are extremely rare, and this is Mickey Mouse's rookie card. Guys.
Mickey in La Casa de los Duendes.
Let me show you this real quick, okay? Let me show you this. People think Mickey Mouse's first card is the 1931 Walt Disney card.
Right.
But this is Walt Disney's first card. This is Walt Disney. It says Walt Disney right up there.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey just happens to be on here, right? But this is not his first card.
So the Spanish cards are considered.
This is his first card, okay, guys?
Mickey's first card.
Yes, extremely, extremely rare. It's a 15-card set. It's actually based off of a cartoon that you can find on YouTube where Mickey's running around the haunted house. So very, very cool, very rare item.
I've actually seen the movie in like real life on real film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Yep. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, parts of it.
Yeah.
But very rare find. I picked up a few of these, and I will still be buying these guys.
Now, do you remember they told us that SGC and PSA both slab them, but they put different dates on them?
Yes, that's true. That's true. I have both of them here. So
okay.
So this one, it says circa 1930s because they couldn't really do research. This one on PSA says 1929. Yeah, 1929 right there.
I'd rather get PSA to grade them.
Yes.
If they're going to put the older date on them.
Cards. I might even crack this one out and send it to PSA, to be honest.
Oh.
But right now they're still very affordable, guys. Like you can pick up one of these for a few $100. Very affordable, but believe me, at some point people are going to realize what this is, and then they're going to go up there. So
you heard it first.
That's my tip for you guys. For anybody that stayed around this long, that is my weekly tip for you guys. Okay.
Oh wow, the weekly tip of the week. Who we got next? Or a Sports Card Professor 7, Geoff responded to me on IG and said he is trying another route for bringing in store and on-site grading. Oh, he's still going to try to do it.
Yeah, interesting.
The Sports Card Professor 7 again. Which Taylor Swift cards did you buy at Cards HQ, Merlin? Joe at Got Baseball Cards had some Swifty items in the showcase you showed on IG. Those were probably the ones you saw at Joe's Got Baseball Cards were the autos. I think Dan got 2 of them. And I think he sold one but has one left. The ones I got were HQ. They were SGC slabbed. I think they're the ones that are like different colored ones or small mini cards. So there it is. There's Dan with the autograph from the album, correct?
Correct.
And you sold the other one.
Yes, already. I did. Taylor Swift is
hot.
Super liquid, guys. Like anything Taylor Swift, autographs, photos, cards, super liquid. And I'll just tell you this hint. Here's this is not really a nugget, but this is a preview. This is a teaser. For Burbank, I will have some exclusive Taylor Swift items. If everything lines up, I will have some exclusive Taylor Swift items at Burbank because I am very confident in that Taylor Swift market. That stuff does very well.
Yes, so for both of us.
Weeks, you might see me debut something very impressive or very interesting, very very interesting, very cool.
Can you give us a hint? Are you wearing it right now?
No, I cannot give you a hint. Top secret. It's top secret because once I show people what I'm doing,
okay,
and I prove the concept and I prove the business model like I always do.
Yes.
Okay. Never count against the curator. I always prove people that I'm right. Once I debut this and show people, everybody's going to copy it because it's relatively accessible and easy, but nobody's thinking about it yet. Okay. So I'm gonna have to be the first one to kind of break that glass ceiling and let people go after it and make a bunch of money. I'll make a little bit of money, and some people will make a ton of money on this. So that's a teaser.
Christian again. What did you guys think of the Royal Rumble? Where did you watch it? What do you guys think of the Vince McMahon news? I think we already kind of wrapped that up. Dan and I watched it after we got back from Atlanta, so we watched it late at night on Sunday. And the Vince McMahon stuff is pretty crazy. wild stories. I mean, I heard that Triple H didn't really comment on stuff. He said that was the first time he had heard all that stuff, and he didn't want to comment on that. I think he just wanted to be a leader right now and make sure everything was in working order for WWE, and look forward to making good content from the future. Mark the Collector, wrestlers been signing their WWE Impeccable cards. Can't wait for release this year. So those will be on-card autos?
Yes. So that will be fun. I like Impeccable. I actually have a Rhea Impeccable right here.
That's from last year, correct?
Yes, this is the gold out of 10, and I had this Hulk Hogan auto. I just happen to have it right
here.
here.
I remember you got that one. Both of those.
They're in my pile to send to PSA right now, so I just have them right here. So I like Impeccable, but I really love Immaculate unless they make a Flawless. That would be my dream. If they were able to make a Flawless before they lose their license, I would be.
Oh, that's right.
But if they come out with another Immaculate, I'll be super happy because I just got one right here. I'll just show off real quick here. This is the Bloodline white box 1/1 Immaculate that I just got finally sent to me in the mail. Pick this up. So this is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Immaculate.
The Sports Card Professor 7, did Geoff discuss his plans for Cards HQ repacking?
He did not with us, but I'm sure that will be part of the business model. That seems to be what everybody's doing right now, repacks. That's what's popular. I still personally don't really care for it. I just think it's another way for
gimmicky
for people. Yeah, it's just another way for people to kind of like get you to buy into their, breaks with odds and buying cards that you probably don't want in the first place. But hey, everybody's doing it. Everybody's making money. So we'll see how long that goes for until something else comes up.
Mark the Collector, love the food reels. Keep it up. Yes, they were good.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We had a lot of food. I think Dan ate so much freaking food. He would order like 20 plates for us all. And I was like, where are you putting it all?
I just like to try things. I like to have a little buffet. I like to try little things here and there. I don't need everything.
I've never seen a guy eat so many carbs in my life, man. And then he gave me hell because he said he couldn't take me anywhere.
Oh my God.
And his wife was saying, like, listen. Oh my goodness.
You brought this up, man. All right. Traveling with Merlin and trying to take him to eat, everywhere. It's like, oh, do they have a gluten-free menu? Okay. I can't eat gluten. Don't let me eat gluten. Okay. And then you take him to a place where he doesn't eat gluten, then the dairy gets him, the dairy gets him.
What does Dan do? I say, don't take me. And the first place he takes me in Atlanta is a pizza place.
They had gluten-free crust.
I know. And he's like, Merlin.
It's not my fault you ate all the cheese, okay?
I forgot to. I'm supposed to be having like almond cheese.
This dude, Merlin's 53 years old. For 52 and a half years, he ate gluten, no problem.
Let's see how you do in 10 years, okay? From now on, okay? I'll remember this.
He's gluten-free. Everything has to be like gluten-free, man. Do you know how hard it is to find a gluten-free restaurant in the South? Okay?
No, it's not. Atlanta is a big metropolitan. It's the second or third largest city in the country now. Or the third or fourth largest city in the country.
Oh my God.
They've got a lot of hippie places.
I'm a simple man. I like a hamburger, cheeseburger. I like a pizza,
That's all he eats, man.
And then I gotta go find these different places.
I thought you had a better palate than that.
All he wants to do is just eat,
I want Michelin star. Come on.
Michelin star. Get the fuck out of
here. You didn't take me.
Okay. I was saving that for Maria. That's Maria's job.
Okay? Oh, is that the deal? Okay, yeah. Okay.
All right, let's get back to here.
Michael Tom, Dan, have you ever tried to sell a piggy banks art slab at a show? I think you have, haven't you?
No, I've never.
Oh, you've never have.
The only time I ever sold or put my piggy banks out for actual sale was at the National, and I sold my Ronaldo crowning Messi as
that's right
for $2,000, guys. All right, and I was firm on the price. All my piggy banks cards I said were $2,000 because I was putting them out to show off to the world because I was
right.
Piggy banks. I would do him that as a favor, and it sold. One of them sold. And when I made the video about that card selling, it blew up like the Kurosawa blew up Star Wars. He got all his whatever backlog of orders backlog of inventory taken care of. He sold everything out. He doubled his price from $125 to $250, and people started selling his cards on the secondary market, eBay, card shows for $500 to $1,000. I heard some of them have sold for $2,000. So I started this. Okay, I will take credit for this. I started.
Oh, here it goes again. Oh my goodness.
Bank's resale market. That is on me, guys. Okay. But since then, I have not tried to sell any because they're part of my collection. I enjoy having them. I do think I have too many though, because I can't even display them all. So
he's been buying those, and I've been buying the Type 1 photos that he's giving me hell about.
Some of these just to kind of make some room, but that's the only time I've really tried to sell some. I will probably have some at Burbank for if anybody wants them. But yeah, that's the story behind that.
I did see other people at Culture Collision selling them at their booth.
It's everywhere now. Piggy Banks is a household name, not because of me, but I helped.
And then I see other, artists too, card artists, doing very well, lucrative at the shows. Eric Stanley, Vinings is the part of Atlanta that has the old money. Oh, that's the area. Yeah, the Vining Inn. Correct. Thank you. Michael Tom, Dan, did you get the tailor-made art slab from Piggy Banks? I tried to get it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I also told him to make Taylor Swift cards. Okay. I told him to do this 6 months ago, so I will take credit for that. But I didn't.
Oh my gosh, this guy's head is so big right now.
I didn't want to. I like the Taylor on there, but I didn't like how it had like the referees and football players around it, so I didn't really like that. But if he makes another one, that's I'll probably buy that one.
The Sports Card Professor 7, the Chamber of Commerce for Kansas City says Taylor Swift has been good for business for the city. Taylor bought a hat in Kansas City, and the shop sold out immediately after Taylor wore it, he said. Of course it is. That's why people, like especially apparel people, always want celebrities to wear their stuff for free, and it's for free. Whereas we have to spend, thousands of dollars for it. Unless you're, the curator. Aki collects. I'm still going after a bunch of 2022 impeccable. I'm not ready for 23 impeccable. Oh, WWE flawless, yes. Aki collects again. That bloodline is so nice. It is. That's a beauty one. And you still have those booklets too?
I do. I have the bloodline booklet, but I prefer this card because the booklet.
Yeah, it's too big.
Like Rikishi and the Wild Samoans, they're not like. They're part of the bloodline, but they don't appear on TV as part of the bloodline. But not
story-wise, no. But bloodline-wise, yes. But
you can't have that booklet without having the Rock on it. So
that's true, because
it's really cool, but this is the real representation of the bloodline. Although we are missing Solo on this.
That's right.
Really, this should have been a 4, like a quad auto, but this is still pretty good.
I think those were made before Solo got into the storyline, though.
Yeah, and I just like the single card over the booklet. The booklet's hard to display.
It's huge. Have you brought one of those to sell? The booklets? Or are you holding on to those right now?
I'll sell it. I'll sell it at some point. But I love out of all the things I collect, wrestling is my favorite. So I don't mind holding on to my wrestling cards.
Yes. Adrian again. CV Sports Cards. Merlin, you Gen Zer. No, I'm a Gen Xer, man. That's where it all started. Michael Tom, any offers for your Kobe Platinum portraits at the Culture Collision show? Yes, we talked about that earlier in the show tonight.
Yeah, the best offer I got was $4,500, but he was a little bit rude to me, so I said no. I'm gonna try to hold out for $5 on that.
So, are you saying if he had buttered you up and made you feel good about yourself, you may have gone down the $4,500?
Yeah, of course. I'll do deals with people if I feel like they're cool people and I just want to. Help them out or give them a good deal. I got no problem with that. I got no problem giving people room to make money if they're cool with me and they're polite, but I just cannot stand people with bad manners. Okay.
Right.
I encountered that a lot in the hobby, especially with the younger people. And this guy was,
in the younger crowd.
He wasn't a kid, but he was still young, where they just have no manners. You know what I mean? They're just like too, like okay. Since you got me into this, okay. We had this conversation, I think, with somebody. We had this conversation with somebody, maybe Ralph, I think. But I think a big problem that younger people have in the hobby is that they're very focused on the transaction, the individual transaction. let me do this deal, let me make my money, and then that's it. I don't care about this person. I don't care if this person had a good experience with me. I don't care if I was rude to this person. I don't care if I ever do a deal again with this person. I got
You're just
my
a
money.
number. You're just a number.
I won in that deal, and I got my money. Let me turn my attention to the next person, right? Let me do that. It's very transaction based.
Right.
But as you have different experiences in life, if you work in companies or you're start a different business or you get older or whatever, right? You will learn that in order to be successful in anything that you do, you must have good relationships.
Working relationships,
okay? And you have to build a customer base. You have to build a reputation. You have to build lasting relationships that give you opportunities to succeed. And that is especially true in the hobby, right? You see a lot of people that are prominent in the hobby know each other. They have relationships. They do business with each other. They do collaborations with each other. Mm-hmm. They start businesses with each other. And if you're on the outside looking in, they call those like the boys club, basically. Oh, look at those guys. They're part of a clique. They're part of a boys club. It's not that. It's because they built relationships with each other over time, and they work with each other because they like each other, right? If they don't work with you, it's probably because you did something to, offend them, or you were rude or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I think that's just kind of an example of what happened to me. I feel like, if you're rude to me, I will leave money on the table if you're rude to me.
Right.
I mean, I don't care if I really need to sell a card or whatever, or even if I don't take a huge profit on a card. If you're rude to me, or I don't like your manners, or I just don't like you for whatever reason, I'm not going to do business with you. All right. Because I'm in the position where I don't have to do business with anybody. I've got diamond hands in the hobby right now. Right. I can afford to hold on to cards. So that was an example of what happened. So if anybody's listening to this, if anybody that I talk to that maybe doesn't understand this concept, I always try to tell them, make sure you have good relationships with people, treat people well, have good manners, be polite. And if you do those things, nobody's going to hate you for it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, people can only like you more. And if they like you, they will go out of their way to help you if you act like that.
I agree, because there were so many people that were nice to me at Dallas and Atlanta that talked to me, spent some time with me, made me feel good about myself and for Dan and for the show. So I gave all those people good discounts on prices. Mm-hmm. Michael, leave old man Merlin alone. Hey, don't call me old man. Gramps coming to the rescue. Thanks, Gramps. Even though Gramps is just a few years older than me, he's called Gramps. Army ATC 22. Here he is, guys. Here's the second place guy, Alex. Yeah. Hello, fellas. Check him out. That's his username on Instagram. But he fought hard for that piggy banks card.
Yeah, we were just talking. We had a whole segment where we talked about you, Alex. So go back and look at that.
Yes.
Alex definitely tried. He tried his best to get that card, but I'm glad that Piggy Banks, as I understand it, Piggy Banks saw what happened and he reached out to Alex personally, and I think he's going to get him a card of something pretty soon. So
congrats, buddy.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you again. He also says so many underestimate the value of relationships. Yeah, like this guy had already built a relationship with us. Not only was he trying to win the card, but he also gave us shout outs on his channel and on his Instagram and made content around Between Two Slabs.
Yes. Relationship. The hobby is all about relationships. Okay. Cards come and go, right? Cards come and go, guys. Cards are just like the means for us. Like cards are the common interest for us so that we can interact with each other. But the relationships are what really matter in a hobby. And that's what will get you to be successful and make money and succeed, and everything that you want all comes down to how many good relationships that you have in the hobby.
The autograph collector, Success Merle followed me on IG. Yes, I do, man. You were liking all my stuff. Why not? Army ATC 22. I'll rewind for sure. Yes, check it out. We gave a whole segment about you and the Piggy Banks card.
All right, so that basically wraps up all the comments there. We're making good time here. It looks like we're going to finish in time for once again. Any last minute things you want to show off?
We had a record-breaking crowd for this year of 2024. What a good crowd this was of viewers on tonight's episode. I think we had over 60 at one point.
Yeah, I think 63.
And they were engaged the entire time. So thank you all for staying tuned for Between Two Slabs. Check me out on Merleworld Cards. I'm on Instagram, YouTube as well. What else? TikTok, even eBay. I don't know what Dan's pointing at. Doesn't looks nasty. But anyway, check me out. Follow me. Leave some comments below. Let us know what you want to see. I guess Adrian said the first thing I will post will be on Cards HQ, since that's the most topical, and then I'll go from there. And if there's anything else you want to see first, make sure to leave it below in the comments, okay? Dan, now to you.
And then reminder, guys, pick up your limited Between Two Slabs t-shirt, size large only. If you need a different size, message me.
Diet.
We'll get you in on a seated order for that, but the design will be slightly different. So if you guys want this design, this will be we only have a few of those available. So DM me on Instagram and I'll get those out to you guys this week.
Yes.
All right, let me get this here. Let me close this up here. Okay, so this was a great show. This was a lot of fun.
Beautiful.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Success.
And we will see you next week. And maybe if Merlin's feeling up to it, he might be live in the Curator Studios. So
yes.
Check that out, guys. We'll see you next week.
With good sound, too. Bye-bye.
Yo, listen.